Hey, what's up guys, this is Liam or Weagle on your Moira Watch, back with a new video. Today we're going to be talking about our favourite new hero, Moira. I'm sure that you guys have had two very split experiences of the new hero. One of them, whether playing her or having her on your team, is where you just use her to roll the enemy team and she feels incredibly strong and powerful. And then there's the flip side to that, where it can feel like she's not getting much value at all. So today, I want to explain exactly why these two things are happening and why she is actually the best raw healer in the game, but also why healing is not necessarily the only utility that you want from a support. So the first thing to talk about is how strong she is and when she's really strong, because I've been playing her a fair bit, and even though I'm not great mechanically on her yet, I don't manage the resources as well as I could. I've managed to be doing like 50% of the team's total damage taken back in healing, which gives you your ultimate all the time, which means you can keep healing more and more. So you can get like 20 to 25k healing in a full game done with Moira easily. If you have an exceptional game with someone like Anna, then maybe you'll get 17, 18k or a bit more, and the same with Mercy. But Moira can just burst out this healing all the time, and burst is the right word for it too, because if you actually throw an orb and heal someone at the same time with your primary fire, it's about the most burst healing you can do in the game, shy of Transcendence. So if you pick her in a comp that's very deathbally with a lot of tanks, and as an example I'll show you a Bastion on the cart strat where I'm running Moira, Anna, Bastion and some shields, you'll see that we're able to heal the Bastion through Transcendence like healing. This guy does not die, and he should do, and I don't even do a good job, as I've mentioned, of like keeping my resource going, but we still keep this Bastion alive through way more damage than anything else can heal in the game. In fact, I worked it out, and it is as much as Transcendence healing when you have the nade from Anna on it and all of the healing from both characters on that target. It is absolutely ridiculous, and you run her in this strat with an Anna or a Mercy, and you're going to be getting rolled, or you're going to be the person rolling. That's the real good side of Moira that I'm sure you guys have already witnessed in your comp games, where she just feels unstoppable, and she is the best raw healer in the game. But there are some things that she doesn't have, and that is extra utility to do other things and to synergize with other comps specifically. So I want to get into the talk of where do you actually pick Moira and other supports, because up until this point in Overwatch there's been so few supports that it's been obvious who you should pick. But there are a lot of DPS characters that from release have been known to be better on certain maps and with certain comps. You can get into some games in matchmaking and someone will go, well, we have a Winston and a Diva, so maybe we should get the Lucio, and maybe we should have a Genji and a Tracer. But at the minute what's happening with Moira is we're getting into some games with some team comps, and people are picking Moira where she can't possibly do enough utility or healing on the comps that are trying to synergize with her. And her weak spot is when you have a dive comp and when you have a lack of a Reinhardt or an Orisa. Because when your team are diving all around the map, even though Moira's mobility is okay with her fade, having that reliable healing, keeping yourself alive, and hitting your orbs on your fire in the sky or something are just not good enough, and that are now other options available to you in the support category that we've never really had before. The same way we know Hanzo's better on attack and on certain maps. The way that we know taking no dive tank on first Numbani is probably a mistake because they'll have the high ground. This is a new evolution of Overwatch in the support category. And knowing where and when certain healers are better is going to be really key, actually, in winning the games that you play in matchmaking. If you have a dive comp, and this is where you'll definitely be struggling with a Moira on your team, nothing ever feels like it's being healed. I mean, this even happens when you have a death ball comp and like a Genji with a Moira. He's like, why am I never being healed? And the answer is because Moira can't really heal you. She can throw an orb in a room if a Genji goes in there to support him, but in terms of like reliability, it's just not there. Zen can put an orb on him. Anna can shoot him from a distance, even Mercy can fly to him occasionally, and Lucio can keep up with Genji all the way. but Moira can't really do any of them things, and none of it's reliable. So even like a King of the Hill game, for example, even in a Death Ball, for example, Moira can really struggle because her evasive tools are not good enough, and her other utility isn't there either. She can't put something to sleep like Anna can. She can't discord and melt something like Zen can. She can run away. So when you're playing payload, back to that Bastion example or a 2CP, you can back up a little bit with Moira. You can get behind your team. But when you play it on King of the Hill and the games are a lot more fluid and your team are a lot more spread out, it's nearly impossible to get any value from Moira whatsoever. And honestly, I think this is a good thing for the game. I don't see how anyone can try and pick one hero all the time. It's not viable. Some heroes are better on certain maps objectively, and I think that we're going to see more and more learning from Moira, and I think when the pros run her, they'll be running her in a Death Ball with a Lucio speeding round, healing everything, and I think it'll be on the payloads where you're keeping something alive forever. But as soon as it comes to getting around, it's definitely not the pick to have, and that's one place, guys, I would warn you to stay off of her, because if that happens, you will be struggling. You'd have to go like triple support just so you had enough healing on the right things. It's really nasty to try and fix a team comp that has a Moira when the Moira doesn't want to swap and the other people are adamant on playing the heroes they want to play. That's where she becomes really horrible. So I'm sure you've had two different experiences with Moira, and I'd love you to let me know in the comment section what you think to her. Do you want to see more of her? Do you like the direction where these things are going? Because I think she's fantastic. I absolutely love playing her, but day one I just knew I'm either doing 30k heal in a game or I'm dead all the time, and you just can't be dead with Moira. You just can't. It's just not viable. So the final thing I want to say to kind of sum all of this up is that Moira needs to be doing one of two things. One is putting her massive, almost over healing into something that can sustain through it, that can deal tons of damage. So if it's like a Reaper or a Bastion, if you're putting loads of healing into a Tracer and trying to pocket her, it's really hard to do. It doesn't necessarily have the amount of value you would want either. So you want to be healing up a Bastion, keeping that thing alive to do all the damage in the world. And the other thing Moira could be doing is healing multiple targets, because her burst healing on multiple targets is the highest in the game, and she is the best healer in the game and the best healer ever for that. But it all comes down to that thing. Is this amount of healing worth more than the utility a sleep dart or an anti-nade could get? So be sure to drop a like if you enjoyed the video, as it really does help us out and lets us know you're enjoying the content. Be sure to hit that bell icon so you get notified when our videos go live. Be sure to have a great day as always. Take care and peace, people.